organized by Department of Physics and Electronics, K.C.E Societies, Mulji Jetha College, Jalgaon. First of all, I would like to welcome today's distinguished resource person, Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary, IPR Sales Davitri Bahinabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, and Advocate Nupur Goyal, IP Consultancy Services, New Delhi, with a kind regards. The purpose of this seminar is to understand IPR and its benefits. The vision of our national IPR policy is an India where actual property stimulates creativity and innovation for the benefits of all. Under this, several initiatives like Make in India, Startup India, Digital India, and Skill India have already proved to foster innovation. Also, the Atal Innovation Mission nurtures the innovative energies across the country in school and universities. Moving towards, I like to request Principal Professor S.N. Bharambe to deliver welcome speech. Over to Bharambe sir.
Good morning to all. Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Resource person, Professor B.L. Chaudhary sir from Department of Microbiology, Kavitri Bahinabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Honorable Nupur Goyal, Founder Member, Human IP Consultancy Services, New Delhi. Dr. K.P. Narkhel, Dr. Khadse, Faculty in charge of MJ College, Dr. K.B. Mahajan, Director, School of Physical Sciences, Dr. V.R. Khadse, Head, Department of Electronics, MJ College, all teachers from School of Physical Sciences, and dear participant, researcher, and friends. Again, I welcome you for this online workshop on intellectual property right, organized by the School of Physical Sciences of the Autonomous College. Being a principal of this college, I should say something about the college. Friends, I am very happy to announce that Mulji Jetha College has been bestowed with the status of autonomy during its Platinum Jubilee celebration. Since its inception in 1945, this college has successfully carved its niche in the arena of higher education in the state of Maharashtra. With the visionary leadership of Pradnyavant Nandakumarji Bendale, President of the Khandesh College Education Society, is the driving force behind this entire educational movement. Under his leadership and due to zealous efforts of the trustees, the college has been marching towards newer and higher academic goals. For almost more than 7 decades, the college has been imparting appropriate theoretical knowledge coupled with the adequate practical exposure upon students, thereby developing in them the capacity to think. During autonomy, we would provide opportunity to our students to choose, enroll in the programs that are best suited for them, at undergraduate and postgraduate level. We aim to evaluate our students on the basis of their physical, mental, social, emotional, and intellectual development. The college has been successful recipient of the prestigious A grade by the NAC, National Accreditation and National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC Bangalore, for 3 consecutive terms, along with the status of college with potential for excellence twice college with College of Excellence and Star College. The continuous reform in the academic and administrative level have been made in the college holistically and absent. The student-centric approach offers the huge scope for the student to choose the elective courses from a wide variety of the subject. The college has good infrastructure facilities for sports, academics, administration, co-curricular and extracurricular activities which include adequate number of classrooms, well-equipped laboratories, library and reading rooms, administrative administrative blocks, botanical gardens, playgrounds, gymnasium hall, world-class swimming pool, indoor shooting range, health center, resource center for visually challenged, yoga and naturopathy, hospital, canteen, and the like. A career and counseling cell has been established for offering free career counseling to students. Congestional academic atmosphere in the pollution-free campus, innovative skill-based courses like PHOC, self-financing and industrial courses, dedicated and talented teachers, department admission, excellent results and progression, and above all, democratic college management are some of the key factors that attract the students and stakeholders to Mulji Jetha Autonomous College. As a principal of this college, I extend my best wishes to all participants of this workshop. The successful organization of this online workshop makes me assure that this event will also be a great accomplishment and wish the grand success of this event. Thank you. Thank you for.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. K.B. Mahajan, Director, School of Physical Sciences, to introduce our department.
Good morning, everyone.
Kavita madam,
Uh,
excuse me.
Yes,
Kavita
sir.
madam, please,
Yes,
please ask all participants to close their audio.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, please ask to off their audio.
Okay. Please, I request all the participants, please mute your audio.
Madam, ask to unmute for K.B. Mahajan sir. K.B. Mahajan sir, please unmute.
yeah, the Department of Physics was established from the inception of this college, means in the year 1945. At that time, Mujeta College was one of the first colleges of this region to start Bachelor of Science in Physics. Meanwhile, in mid of 1819, there has been significant changes in the field of electronics. By considering that changes and demands, the college has started Bachelor of Science in Electronics in year 1986. And in the same year, the college also started postgraduate course in physics, that is MSc Physics, to fulfill the needs of industry professionals. In a short span of time, Department of Physics and Electronics has earned popularity in providing quality education for fulfilling the needs of the skilled industry professionals. It is said, action speaks louder than the words. Our results and placement speaks louder than any words of the praise. Our department has to its credit more than 500 of students working as a professionals in reputed industries as well as in academics. The department has an excellent infrastructure with 5 high-tech laboratories with required instruments. It is one of the multidisciplinary department of the college for various activities. Friends, this event will be of 2 lectures of eminent personalities. First lecture is of Professor B.L. Chaudhary, who will speak on why to file a patent. And second lecture will be of Advocate Nupur Goel, who will speak on introduction to IPR and role of IPR in scientific research. Friends, enjoy this lecture and try to grasp the knowledge regarding IPR. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Without taking much more time, let's start the seminar. Here I request my colleague Premjit Jadhav sir to introduce our distinguished resource person, Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir. Please unmute, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Jadhav sir.
So all the participants, please unmute. Yes, ma'am. All the participants, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Good morning to all. Dear participants,
Good morning, sir.
for today's seminar on intellectual property rights, we have Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir with us as our keynote speaker. Myself, Professor Prem Jadhav, and I welcome sir on the behalf of Department of Physics and Electronics, Mulji Jetha College, Jalgaon. Here, let's have a short introduction of our speaker. Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir is having PhD in microbiology. Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir is from Department of Microbiology, School of Life Sciences, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Sir has teaching experience of 15 years. The microbiology or biotechnology, probiotics, siderophores is the area of research of Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir. Sir also have received his recipient of DAAD Fellowship, Germany, for research at Universität des Saarlandes, Saarbrücken, Germany, 1998, 017, July 1998 to November 1998. Then second fellowship received by Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir is JSPS Fellowship of Japan for Japan Society of Promotion for Science, Fellowship to pursue research at National Food Research Institute, Tsukuba Science City, Japan. Then, sir also have received Beach Fellowship of Japan to pursue research at National Agriculture and Food Research Organization, Tsukuba Science City, Japan in 2012. 7 students have completed their PhD under guidance of Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir. 2 students have completed their MPhil, and currently 8 students are pursuing their PhD degree under guidance of Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir. Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir has 2 patents registered on his name. Sir has published more than 30 research papers in standard reputed national and international journals. Sir has reviewed and written more than 15 books and chapters. B.L. Chaudhary sir had completed 9 research projects, and currently sir is working on 1 research project. Sir is also life member of Biotech Research Society of India, President of BRSI North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, life member of Association of Microbiologists of India, life member of Indian Science Congress Association, full member of Association of Food Technologies of India, life member of Probiotic Association of India, life member of Global Biotech Forum Nagpur, member of Institutional Biosafety Committee of North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon since 2015. This was a brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Now, I request our keynote speaker, Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir, to please guide us on the topic, why to file a patent. Before starting I request all the participants, please unmute yourself and please switch on your cameras. Please listen to our speaker carefully and do not write anything in between lecture. Do not write in chat box. Do not write or do not raise your hand. Do not unmute yourself, because after completing this lecture, we'll have a separate question answer session for it. So if you have any doubt, you can note it down and you can ask all those questions in question answer session. Thank you. I request Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir to please guide us on this topic, why to file a patent. Dr. B.L. Chaudhary sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Jadhav, for kind introduction. I'm also thankful to the MJ College principal, Dr. Bharambai, as well as the management of MJ College and the head of department, Professor K.B. Mahajan, who cordially invited me to discuss with you people and share my views. I'm not going to guide anybody. I'm just going to share my views with you. So once again, thank you very much. And I shall start with this presentation so that everybody can view that. And I'm sure that this shall ignite the minds of young students, which is indeed the need of time. Thank you. May I get the rights to present the slides?
Yes, sir, you can present.
So is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. So first of all, I would say that this is fully for the academic purpose, only for the purpose of students. That is what I'm talking on this topic, why to file patent. There are so many people who have been relentlessly talking on how to file patent, or even there are so many workshops, how to write patent and so. However, I usually prefer to speak on this topic, why to file a patent. If anybody has any question or so, this is my email ID. You can note it down. If somebody wants to communicate with me, you can communicate on this email to me. Perhaps time may not permit to discuss more. So I shall go ahead. Well,
Yes, sir.
again, this is for the academic purpose only. Yeah, types of properties. If we look at probably Advocate Nupur Goel, she will throw more light on these aspects. However, I will speak very little about it. Tangible property and intangible property. So tangible, something which is visible, very much like building, or movable property like car. Intangible property, it cannot be seen as such by the naked eyes. However, it includes the industrial property like patents, design, trademark, and GIs, and copyright and related. So this is one of the patent. If you have been granted a patent, this patent will look like this. It's an exclusive right to an applicant by government for a limited period. So as others should not copy that. That's the purpose of that. Exclusively, he's the owner of that particular invention. Design is the features of shape, configuration, pattern, ornament, and so. This I will skip perhaps. People are aware of the trademarks Bata, Nike, Tata, MACD, and whatnot, right? Geographical indications, maybe you are aware that Jalgaon has been granted this banana, Jalgaon banana has been granted this status GI, or Nagpur oranges, Darjeeling and
So
so.
may I disturb?
Yeah, please.
Sir, please do click on the slideshow.
Pardon?
Please do slideshow.
Present yourself. This is the thing, huh?
हाँ slideshow नहीं दिख
Okay, that's why I asked you. Anyway, wait a moment. Stop. But it looks like that from here. It's for me. It is showing that it is slides are visible.
Okay, sir, fine.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Click that button, sir, slideshow. Okay, sir, fine. Continue, sir.
Are you able to see the trademark number 3?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is number 4, geographical indication, correct? And then copyright. This provides its holder the right to restrict unauthorized copying and reproduction of an original expression. Are you able to see the book or the 2 owls on this slide? I need feedback.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir. Everything is visible now. Please continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So in the book, you may find something like this in a circle. There is a C. It means that material is copyrighted. Probably Advocate Goyal will speak on this aspects more. Well, one of the important aspect of this, that is creativity. Behind every drive, this intellectual property, creativity is the driving force. I'm not telling it basically. This is all over the world. People are agreeing with this, and this has been quoted in IP India website also. So creativity, what is creativity? Thinking of new ideas. And innovation, it means making the idea to work. Intellectual property is creations of human mind, and this helps boost economy. Intellectual property rights is protection of the creations of the minds. That includes patents, designs, trademarks, etc. So one of the important thing, we are surrounded by intellectual property everywhere. Everybody has to agree with this sentence. We are surrounded by intellectual property everywhere. You just, wherever you are sitting, just look here and there, you will find so many things around you. There may be a watch on your hand. There may be a mobile phone in your pocket. Everything, most of the things right now, which are protected under the intellectual property. The fundamental question is that how to innovate. So these innovations can boost the economy. So how to innovate? This is the million-dollar question one has to address. So the methodology for that, it is like that. This is the vague methodology, but it needs to discuss this. Identify the existing problem surrounding you and search for a solution. Find out what is the problem around you. Then, did you get an idea to solve the problem? Is it innovative enough? Set a goal, dream, imagine. This is very important word, imagine. Imagination is the only way that can go, or that can make you to go for developing intellectual property or to innovate something. Do not limit yourself by existing science theories or others' beliefs. Maybe 50 years back or so, somebody would have spoken that, oh, I will prepare some device that without any cord or without anything, one can speak with another person in USA or so. It could have been really funny to think 50 years back. Today, everybody is doing like that. We have the mobile phones. So that is innovation. Write it down, whatever you feel that. Keep your journal or innovator's notebook with all goals and ideas. Experiment, develop, and prepare something. Hence, creativity perhaps is the most important, and it's a driving force behind the intellectual property. I will take you back to 200 years of innovation and growth. So if you look at this sentence, mankind's pursuit of innovative solutions have powered human progress and transformed our world. 2 centuries of breakthrough innovations have seen 15-fold growth in per capita incomes in frontier economies. This has been stated by World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO. So how exactly these 200 years have pushed the economy and what kind of facilities have been created? We'll just look at these things. 200 years back, 18th century, so I mean to say 19th century, 1806, when it was the GDP around $2,000 per person. See, it went on increasing. You see how steam locomotive, 1836, it came into existence. Electric telegraph.
सर
Yes.
ज्या स्लाइड्स आहेत ना सर आपल्या त्या ऍक्च्युली मूव्ह होत नाहीयेत आणि त्याला स्लाइड शो करा आणि फुल स्क्रीन करा सर. एकच जी स्लाइड आहे ना नंबर 3 ट्रेडमार्क अँड जिओग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन.
Okay, wait a moment.
ट्रेडमार्क अँड जिओग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन याच्यावरच ती स्लाइड होती सर. सो
Okay, हा प्लीज. या थँक्यू. मी बघतो कुठून.
and sir make it full screen sir.
Yeah, wait a moment please. स्लाइड्स नाही येत वर. स्लाइड्स नाही दिसत आहे. इथं बरोबर केलंय. Hello.
Yes, sir. Any problem?
I don't know what is the problem.
Yes.
Wait a moment, I will check it out.
Okay.
सर तुमच्या डाव्या साईडला जी स्क्रीन आहे ना तर तिथे खाली व्ह्यूचं ऑप्शन आहे, तिथून व्ह्यू करू शकता तुम्ही.
डाव्या साईडला एक मिनिट.
जे काय आपण मॅक्झिमाइज करतो ना
सर स्लाइड वर डबल क्लिक करा. स्लाइड वर डबल क्लिक करा.
एक मिनिट.
ओपन होईल.
आली का?
No sir. Slide is visible, but sir, screen is not there. Screen is there, slide is not there.
Sir,
Sorry,
press
yeah.
F5. Press F5, sir.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
So it is visible, but
Are slides moving now? I am moving it now.
Okay, sir, you can move it manually, sir.
Is it moving now?
No, sir.
Wait a moment. Now please check it. Are slides moving?
No,
sir.
Moving?
Sir, you move the mouse pointer to that particular slide. At left.
Hello, हा सांगा मला.
You move your mouse pointer to 11 number of slide. Yes. Next. Here. Click. Yeah. Then it's okay. Yes, sir. Now visible. And if has yes, sir. Bhushan, sir.
Yeah.
If you go to the menu, top row, there is slide show. There is slide show option. Yeah. Click there. And from beginning. Click from beginning.
Is it the first slide visible now?
Yeah.
Moving?
No, sir. From beginning, you select the topmost option in the second row. Second row, first option. Above, from beginning. No. Next, here.
This one.
Click, double click.
Moving now?
No, sir. It's better to select the particular file and click it. Yeah. Now it's okay.
Is it changing now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
मी फुल स्क्रीन करतो एकदा. Is it moving now?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what is the problem.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay.
It's not there. You can select the slide and you can present it, sir.
Okay. So I believe that slides are moving now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I need to have full screen. I don't know why isn't it happening?
No problem, sir. Continue.
Maybe. Okay. So if you look at that, here, we were here somewhere. The steam locomotive 1836, then plastics 1856, here, industrial steel making, scientific plant breeding, telephone, electric lamp in 1879, automobiles, aeroplane, radio, nuclear energy, pharmaceuticals, and so on. Further, semiconductors, 1925 television, supply chain innovations, robotics, then sustainable energy, internet, mobile phone, nanotechnology, 3D printing, and so on. There have been tremendous developments which took place, and this really elevated from $2,000 to $30,000 in the top economies of the world, frontier economies, we can say. So at this moment, it needs to introspect what is that driving force that these countries have really developed. So if we look at global innovation index, if we see the innovation efficiency ratio, that is important. And what kind of ratio is that? Innovation input and innovation output. These are the two important things of which the ratio, it gives global innovation index. And if we see the parameters for this, for input, what is desired to have good innovations, that is institutions. We need to have very good academic institutions. Then human capital and research. Then it comes infrastructure. Then comes market sophistication, and then business sophistication. These are the 5 important pillars which we require for the purpose of innovation. What is the innovation output? Fundamentally, it is knowledge and technology output. Then it comes the creative output. These are the 2 important things. If we look at this, creative output is very important, and this creative output is nonetheless the intellectual property. Knowledge and technology output, we can put it in terms of publications, while creative output, we can put it in terms of intellectual property. So if we see and compare the global innovation index versus GDP of the various countries, here is the graph. This is on x-axis, it is GDP, on y-axis GII, Global Innovation Index score. So at this, we can see at the top here, there is a country, CH, that is Switzerland. Then it comes down. See, the global GII is more than 60, almost 66 or something like that. Here it comes USA, and see at the bottom, the GDP is also very high. It comes down slowly. Here it comes USA, then comes Japan, then comes China, and then here is India. Here is India, which is something on the average. We are just on the threshold of innovations, and so we have not developed ourselves to the extent desired. We aspire to be like USA or so. Politicians usually say like that. However, it is our duty, perhaps, the youngsters who need to do something and innovate something, find out to go for avenues and go for intellectual property rights, development of it. Here is one small country, Qatar, which is having a very high GDP. If we look at that, its GII score is just like India, but GDP is very high. It is based on the natural resources like the oil and gas. So they have not done something remarkable. Fortunately, they have the wealth naturally available. That's why GDP is high. However, even though the Switzerland is not having much of the natural resources, their GDP is huge because their GII is huge. If we go further, science and technology are the pillars of wealth. If we put it like that, this is absolutely correct. We need to see some of the things, especially knowledge creation, knowledge impact, and knowledge diffusion. It would be very lengthy to go for. However, I will take you to this. Especially, there are certain groups: high income countries, upper middle income countries, lower middle income countries, and low income countries. So, if we see high income countries, categories like Switzerland, Sweden, USA, UK, Denmark, France, Israel, and so upper middle, China, Armenia, Georgia, Thailand, Serbia, and lower middle income countries include India, Philippines, Mongolia, Kenya, Morocco, and so on. We will not consider here low income group, Malawi, Rwanda also. However, if we look at here, the knowledge creation, patents by origin, the rich countries, Switzerland, USA also 7.65, middle income countries 3, and India, will assume here India 1.27. PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty, or the so-called, in general terms, it is called as world patent or something like that. It is not true, but well, it is 2.5 in this case. In our case, it is just 0.1. Then 1.4 scientific and industrial articles, 30, and in case of India, it is just 7.22. However, utility models, they have rich nations 1.26, and we are using whatever the inventions created by these rich people, or I mean to say GII high score countries, that we are using, and our utility model score, that is 3.19. If we look at that, we can say certainly that knowledge is money and money is power. This straightforward equation can be created. Knowledge is money and money is power, because they have huge knowledge, and that made them to create good amount of money. So these assumptions are very important to understand. If we see Indian policy regarding the science and technology, it's not that in few years, in last 10, 15 years or something like that, it has been created. Well, 1958 onwards, scientific policy came into existence. Indian Patent Act came into existence in 1970. Then so many things happened. 2003, new science and technology policy. 2012, the IT policy. And so it happened. However, 2016 was a major break. It created new IPR policy. It states especially 7 things over here, 7 objectives. IPR awareness, probably this is one is responsible for perhaps today's talk. Generation of IPR, legal and legislative framework, administration and management, commercialization of IPR, enforcement and adjudication, human capital development, and so. This policy has really pushed India ahead nowadays, and probably it's our responsibility to do something better than that of earlier. Here is the research investment one needs to look in, how people have invested in the various arena of research. See, People's Republic of China is probably, I will go directly to this one. 2010, it is having 890 researchers per million. India, 159 researchers per million, it means per 10 lakh. Japan, it is having more than 5,000 researchers per 10 lakh. USA, 3,800 and so. So if you compare with all these figures, we are nowhere. We are almost, so many times lesser than that of other rich nations. Total researchers in R&D, if we see in China, it is something 11 lakh. We do have almost 2 lakh. Japan, a very, very small country, is having 6.5 lakh. USA, almost 12 lakh. So this is the expenditure or the investment for the research and development purpose. Here is China. If we look R&D expenditure, it is something like that. If we see in 2012, it is some $90 billion. While in India, at the same time, it is almost 400, but you see the unit, they have $1 billion, we have $1 million. So we are nowhere. It is the policy of our government that should change perhaps, and that should invest more money in research and development. Then only good inventions may occur. Here, if we see the patent data, I will bring you over here 2016. How many patents have been filed in India? If you look at that, around 32,000 patents have been filed almost. So non-residents, almost 32,000. If you see the residents, it is 13,199. So if you see this orange colored bar is pretty big than that of this dark olive green bar. So this indicates that foreigners are filing more patents in India than the residents of India. We do have 125 crore people. And how many patents are filed across India? Almost 35,000 patents. That's not a good figure actually. This is the actual data, which is in 2018-19, 50,659 patents filed across India, while almost 35,000 patents filed by foreigners, while we have filed something like 15,000 patents only. About the publications, because we already have seen that knowledge created, that is published in terms of publications in the research journals. If you look at this data, this is for the mere comparison of our science and technology. You look at these documents, almost 1.2 crore research papers have been published in this 15 years, 1996 to 2018 by USA. Then comes China, almost 60 lakh. And then UK, Germany, France, Canada, and then it comes to India, that is almost 17 lakh only. So there is a huge scope for all of the researchers. First of all, they need to do for IPR protection and then go for publication, something like that. The chronology should be there. If you, this is the latest data, 2020 data that was recently excavated. So further, I will go. in terms of books published in India. In India, if you see in 2018, China published 4.4 lakh books, USA 3 lakh books, Britain 1.8, India 0.9 lakh. It means 90,000 books published across the whole subcontinent of India. It's not a very good figure actually. We have to do a lot and go for a big leap. Here the types of innovator, this is a radar graph of various countries. I will just straight go to something like this. Yeah, here. These are the developed nations which are having the score of almost 40, 38, or we can say, and these are the developing nations which have the score of almost 25 or so, where we can see that product innovators are basically from the developed nations. See, these are the developed nations. Product innovations are very high. Organization innovations are also very high. But on the same cases, in case of the poor countries like Indonesia, Romania, Serbia, Bulgaria, and so it is just 25. Here is India, and we are far below than that of even 25. It is almost 15 or something like that. And we have to excel in this field. I will take you to another interesting statistics which has been given by one of the Australian firms. How do we spend, if you look at this, maybe this is the statistics of the whole world as such. This is regarding dark color USA, this sky blue color that is from European Union, and this brick empty. It means Brazil, Russia, India, China, Mexico, and Turkey. So defense spending, how much is that? If you look, USA is spending almost 55, Europe 18, 27 by the India assume. Smartphones, if you look at, it is 25 by USA, Europe only 20, and India almost 55. This is a representative example. Innovative pharma, USA is spending 66%, Europe 29%, and brick empty is spending only 5%, which we are representing. So there is a simple question: can low investments bring good medicines for us? How much we are spending? Only 5%, and they are spending 66%. You look even at the corona situation. People are extremely busy in inventing newer medicines, and so fortunately 2 of the companies in India have done better work. However, here the statistics say that almost we are spending 55% on smartphone and only 5% on the innovative pharma. Are the smartphones required for the health or maintaining our health or the lives? Whether innovative pharma investment 5%, that is enough for us? No, of course. This makes us to think on this aspect. This is another example: intangible capital with high returns, that is mobile phones or the smartphones. If you see here, the success in the smartphone industry is based on intangibles. It is based on intangibles. Look at this. Perhaps this is the case of Apple phone. This is Samsung, Huawei, and Apple. So cost of material is 22%, distribution and retail 15%, other 21%, and Apple's value capture is 42% out of this $800. So to the tune of almost 28,000 rupees, when you purchase a telephone of rupees 60,000, almost 42% of its cost directly goes to whom? It is the Apple, a company which is based in USA that have invested a huge in development of this intellectual property. So what does it happen? What does it happen? $340 out of this 809 directly flies to USA, where they have developed the technologies. This is the net loss for the country. This necessitates for us to go for better inventions. You look at this. Patent applications at the top 10 offices in 2016. Almost 13 lakh patents have been filed by China. 1 lakh patents, 12 lakh by the Chinese people, while 1 lakh patents by the foreigners in China. In USA, almost 3 lakh by the foreigners, 3 lakh by the Americans in USA. If you see the status in India of India, I already have told you almost 15,000 patents filed by India, while 30,000 patents 30,000 patents filed by foreigners in India. This is an unfortunate event basically. We need to change the statistics. If you look at this flow of non-resident patent applications across the world, people are always trying to file their patents in USA, Europe, Japan, Germany also. While here is our country, India, is hardly seen over here. Is it visible? I need feedback. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, further, if you see the patents in IT sector, every time we the people in India say that we are the masters in IT sector, and so I believe that we are masters in providing the human capital for the whole world basically. We are providing IT workers for the world. But if you look carefully, patents in IT sector in the world are filed by the companies from the developed nations. None of the Indian companies could be seen over here. See Qualcomm, Koninkluk, then Robert Bosch, BASF, Sony, then General Electric, Siemens, Alcatel, and so on. We are not filing much patents. However, there are certain companies like TCS, Wipro, and so those are filing patents, but not to the tune with that of the foreign companies. Startup, there is a lot of things which are going on, and fortunately, Government of India is supporting this startup vigorously. However, the story of the patents which are being filed by the startups is very poor. See, only 10 patents granted in 2018, 8 refused. It's not a very good statistics. The companies Wipro filed 125, TCS filed 90 patents, and so on. Top Indian patentees in 2018, maybe CSIR laboratories like NCL, IICT, they have 39 laboratories, 39 centers, then 6 innovation centers, and so, but number of patents filed is 176. DRDO 126 only. Top foreign companies getting patents in India, if we see, it is Qualcomm, Koninkluk, then Philips, Google, Mitsubishi, Daimler, and so on. The 10th number company, that is Honda Motor, that has 10 patents, while the top our Indian patents basically CSR only 176. The statistics is mind-boggling. If you see the number of patents filed in 2018, yeah, you can see here almost 15 lakh patents filed by China. India 50,000 and 55 only. So it is beyond comparison. So here also we can see the major share goes to China and smaller countries than Japan, Korea, and so. However, if we see, India lags far behind the global leaders in patents. Total patent applications in 2017, see here China, and here is India. So there is a lot to do for Indians in this field. Here, investment patterns 2008 meltdown across the whole world. If we look at the Indian situation was like this yellow colored, while Chinese companies, when the share market was really gone down across the world, Chinese people invested huge, and we were satisfied. Oh, we did not go below zero. But see the Chinese, where were they? So this is again one of the very important and alarming situation. These are the top 10 patent filing companies: Siemens, Huawei, Samsung, LG, Royal Philips, Qualcomm, Ericsson, Robert Bosch, GE, and so. Why am I showing you the statistics? This should ignite the minds of our students and go for such kind of things. At least these things must be thought. Well, here, if you think of investments and patents, Indian companies after 2000, maybe you can say year 2000 and so, 99 to 2015, Indian companies invested by 1.5 fold in research and development activities. Look at this. Original Indian companies invested or increased, we can say, R&D expenditure by 1.5 fold, while foreign companies, multinational companies, increased expenditure in R&D by 18 fold. This is really very alarming. Alarming in terms of what? In terms of investment of R&D, and ultimately it will lead to the development of number of patents which will be filed by them, or number of intellectual properties created by them will be huge because they have invested a huge. I will skip this maybe. So once again, I will come back to the earlier question. How to create? Through the answer for that is through innovations only. The line of action for that is identify the existing problem, get an idea to solve the problem, set a goal, dream and imagine, experiment, develop, modify and construct your invention. This is the way we can follow, or we need to follow. Practically, why to file a patent has varied reasons. See, this is the actual scenario. I have told you why to file a patent. Actual scenario, why people are filing patent. Why to create, or why people are filing patent. Probably the reasons are like this: improve existing product, new technologies or solution, minimize production cost, reputation and brand value, compete with rivals, fundamental and basic research, existing government programs, reverse engineering. However, there are some challenges hindering the innovations. Which are those? Financial constraints, lack of skilled personnel, difficulties in commercialization, unfavorable policies. Investing in innovation is risky. You may not get returns. Lack of suitable infrastructure, weak enforcement of IPR. These are the reasons or the challenges which hinders the innovation. Maybe I will bring your attention to one very important slide. Steve Woz, the Apple co-founder, has been to Delhi in 2018 and he was interviewed by Priya Pathak. He said Indians study hard and get MBA, may buy Mercedes. However, if we see, but lack creativity. Indians do not have the creativity. The culture here in India is one of the success based upon academic excellence, studying, learning, practicing, and having a good job and great life. But fundamentally, what is important that the Indian system, Steve Jobs says that Indian education system is based around studiousness and does not encourage creativity. So the question is that how to support creativity. This is one of the editorial by one of the great scientists, Dr. Anil Kakodkar, in Times of India, basically in Maharashtra Times. Maybe I put it like this. He gave it on the National Science Day, 28th of February. The day has recently been passed and we did not celebrate due to this corona as such. But he said that C.V. Raman is the only person who got Nobel Prize so far in the last 70 years. And this is not the day to celebrate science, basically. What I feel, this is the day of introspection and retrospection. This is very important. Education is not the learning of facts, but training the mind to think. This is said by Albert Einstein. It is very important because undoubtedly he was a genius, and genius, whatever is said by the genius, is very important to all of us who are the common men. Basically, education is not the learning of facts, but training the mind to think. Our brain is divided into two parts. One is related to critical thinking, and another is creative thinking. This critical thinking, it means if I ask a question, will it rain today? Somebody will say that, oh, let me see outside. He will look at the sky and say, oh, there are so many, clouds. There are chances of rain. And that person has been asked to go outside, maybe to another nearby place. What he will do? So what will he do? Probably he will take an umbrella or raincoat. That is his creative thinking. So half of the brain is related to critical thinking, while half is related to creative thinking. So this is basically related to Bloom's taxonomy. I like this topic very much, and this is evaluation system, basically what we mingle around it in the traditional education system. That is, remember, understand, and apply. This is what we use in our traditional system. While augmented system, that is analyze, evaluate, and topmost, that is virtual reality, that is something related to creation. So this pyramid is basically called as Bloom's taxonomy, given by one of the American great scientist, Bloom, 1956. So if we look at this, I will make it simpler like this. If you ask questions in the examination, or we answer especially all the students, I am also one of the students, what kind of questions are asked in the examination? Probably related to knowledge or remembering the fact, define, repeat, record, list, recall, etc. Questions related to understanding or comprehension, that is translate, restate, discuss, describe, these are the explain. These are most common terms basically in our system. Then applying, regarding apply, employ, demonstrate, and so. Further, it goes on increasing. This high order is coming. This is the lowest order. Distinguish. He needs to think about the things. Yes? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So if I ask a simple question, what is the difference between bacteria and algae? The person or the student has to think on these two aspects, differentiate those and answer it. So it's a kind of analysis, that is analyzing. So question level is increasing. Then comes compose, propose, synthesis. These are related to evaluation. And finally, the top gear, I mean to say, the high order questions are related to judge, evaluate, rate, compare, etc. I believe that most of the students for this talk are from physics. So there is one simple question. I would put it in two ways. E is equal to mc square. Who did give this E is equal to mc square equation? This is the question. So probably this is related to remembering. One can answer it very quickly if he knows Albert Einstein. However, if I put the same question in this way, please judge that E is equal to mc square. This means that person has to prove that E is equal to mc square is correct and is not incorrect. So this work will be extremely difficult work. The genius has done that work, and the same question is related to this. See the difference between these two questions. One is related to remembering and another is related to creating. This is the difference between the order of the question. Please understand this. How we ask, I am a teacher basically. So how do we ask the questions in the examination? If you are student here, you can have a look at your question papers also. I will read this for this MBA question paper basically. Define and explain. This is the first question for 12 marks. Second question, explain for the 12 marks. Third question, define and explain for 12 marks. Fourth question, describe for 12 marks. And then fifth question, discuss, again discuss 2 times. It is for 12 marks. So this question paper did not cross the level 2 out of these 6 levels. So how basic questions we are asking to students. Next, we can see here, this is the question paper of again physics. Define, state, explain, explain. Oh, what is this? This is another question paper for the commerce. Discuss, explain, describe. This is for the management, again same way. And this chemistry question paper, oh, or once only they have put it like that. Explain, oh, 1, 2, again explain, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. These are the question papers. These question papers are mingling around the level 1 or maximum 2 or at the max level 3. And which are the level, how many are there? 6. We do not go beyond that. We do not allow our students to think rationally. We just ask them to remember the facts in the examination. So this is the existing system. This I am sitting here and these are my students and I'm asking for a fair selection. Everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb this tree. Probably this fish will die of saying that, oh, I'm a big fool. I cannot climb this tree. And this is what it happens in the most of the classrooms. Most teachers teach only those who are likely to do well. In my class, suppose Sandeep is one of the smart guy or the smart student, I will go on asking the questions to Sandeep only, who is sitting on the front bench. I will not ask the question who is sitting on the last bench, never. So Robert Putnam, one of the congressmen, who put it like this, smart poor kids are less likely to graduate from college now than dumb rich kids. It means even though she's dumb, but she's rich, she will graduate, and smart or clever student will remain as it is. This is the unfortunate event. I will skip this. Fundamental problems with education system. Education system promotes rat race. Education does not build persona. No critical analysis. Narrow mindset. Untrained teachers. Language of our education is very medium. Irrelevant education. Missing innovation and creation. This is very important aspect. Earn degrees easily. And this corona has made it extremely easy perhaps. I'm not supposed to criticize, but it is like that. Resulting in social disparity. Few wealthier and too many poor. It creates or provokes thinking. We already have seen these types of thinking, that critical thinking and creative thinking. Creative thinking can go for development of newer ideas to solve the problem. And how to identify the problem? It could be done upon analyzing, evaluating, and reasoning. This will result in the creative thinking. So critical thinking, it leads to creative thinking. I will come to this slide, very important slide. This lady is asking two of her children to take stones on the top of the hill to build a house. And she's then saying that, oh, you are a fool. I have asked you to do that. Why aren't you doing that? He's a very honest and very sincere guy. You are a naughty boy. It is something like that. If we analyze this picture, probably it is like this. This child is thinking creatively, and this child is not doing like that. So important thing is do something which is extraordinary. do something which will solve the problem. If he builds something like that, he has some 4 wheels of made up of stone, probably a cart will be created, and that cart can take too many stones comfortably and very easily on the top of the hill. That is critical thinking, creative thinking. So creative thinking leads to innovation. This is the another aspect I would like to show you. This, I'm myself here, I'm trying to pull with my friend this cart of finding a new product. Somebody is giving me something and he's saying that, oh, I have something this spare, you please take it with you. What I'm saying? No, thanks. We are busy in finding a new product. We don't want any of your help. If you see this, perhaps this is an opportunity, or opportunities are there. So we perhaps, myself and my friend, have missed this opportunity. It needs to find out the opportunities or tap the opportunities. Possibly this is our picture as evidenced by mediocre output in terms of patents across the whole nation. Even we cannot see what we do have. Possibly this gives picture of our work, evidence from low number of patents, right? So why to file patent? Intangible capital with high returns. I would say like this, I would show this picture like this. Every phone bought in any of the shop in India, perhaps, what is happening? It is taking our money to other nation. Even though now perhaps those people may be sitting as it is, probably idle, but they are earning money and we are spending money. We are compelled to buy the mobile phones. Unfortunately, we don't have the force or the companies which can manufacture that at our own. All patents belong to them and we are scarce with no money perhaps. So this is what is happening. Intangible capital with high returns, that is IPR, and our money is flying there effortlessly. So land of opportunities, what is that land of opportunity? The land of opportunity, it means those people who identify the problems, dream and give the solution. So now this is the situation. This perhaps is the picture of USA and perhaps our nation. What is happening? We are feeding who is already bulky. Hence to stop this, because they are identifying the problems, they are innovating, they are dreaming, they are creating something, and we are trying to use that, or probably we are compelled to use that, and unfortunately we are feeding them. And if we want to stop them, and if we want to become richer and richer, what is important is to file a patent. Probably this is the important message I would like to give to all of you. 10 simple rules to protect your IPR. Probably I would request our next speaker, she will be speaking more on that perhaps. The simple things I would put it: get professional help. I would suggest on this, because we are not skilled in filing the patent. Get professional help from the patent attorney or the patent agent or the lawyer. Know your rights. Think about why you want IP. If you don't protect your IP, your innovation is less likely to happen. What is in name? Be realistic about what you can and you cannot protect it. It's big business, and although it is controversial, you have to go in for that. Keep your idea a secret until you have filed a patent application. Trade secret could be there. Make sure that IP is owned by you and in a way that allows your own development. So at this moment, I will stop here because already 1 hour has gone, and probably this is our picture. This is our picture. It means we are really working very hard. We are really working very hard. However, this kind of working, what is, if you see the actual picture, it is like this. We are not moving. We are just doing some kind of exercise. without any output. If you want to have an output, file patent. Go in the open race, compete with the foreigners or compete with the other people who are excelling or who are doing best in their field, and not like this. So I will give a small, maybe 2-3 minutes more. We are saying that, oh, we are boss in Ayurveda. India is best in Ayurveda, and we are proud of that. Always, we are proud of Ayurveda. That is a rich tradition. 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, this tradition is going on in India. However, new drug discovery moved away from chemical entities to biological moieties. If we see this, the patent scenario in Indian pharma industry, basically here, herbal therapeutics against cancer. So herbal therapeutic, it means the Ayurvedic medicines in cancer. If we see, we are the boss or we are the pioneers of Ayurveda or the herbal therapeutics. We believe it like that, isn't it? However, if you see the statistics, 2005 to 2016, almost this 10 years, India has been filing at least 3-4 patents each year. That's a great deal. 3 to 4 patents each year on an average. If we see the next, the companies which are filing, Piramal Life Sciences, Queensland University, oh, it's from Australia. 2. Zetic Technologies, Medasite, then Hexima, Balmoral, then Buikan, oh, it has filed 2 patents in India. Buikong, 2 patents. CSIR has filed 4 patents. If we see further, Japan, how many patents have been filed by Japan? Each year, almost every year, more than 10 patents, we can say. We are filing 4, they are filing 10 patents, Japan. If we see further, USA, how many patents are being filed? Almost 35 patents each year for the same duration. And how about China? See here, 2002, 32 patents. Then 2003, 51, 2004, 50, 2005, 78 patents. While in 2005, we have filed only 1 patent. And then 2006, 74. Then the train continues like anything. And 2016, they have filed 835 patents in herbal therapeutics to treat cancer. Can we now say that we are the boss in the field of Ayurveda? I believe that it was our assumption, and it is not true. So this is the situation. If you have a pie chart to look at, this bulk blue color, that is of China, and here our country having only 48, and these are having 4,657 patents. So we are no more, you can say, boss in this field. Finally, I would like to quote with only one slide. This is the Nobel Prize. This man is the Nobel Prize winner, Duncan Haldane, who won Nobel Prize in 2016 in physics. Professor Haldane said, you cannot wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to discover something big today. So what we need is hard work, and hard work. This is what I want to say. And at this moment, I would like to stop here as it is almost have passed 1 hour. Thank you.
Yeah. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, sir, my question is, sir, hereby you mentioned the numbers regarding from what is in herbal area, from India it is 10 and Japan it is 20, sorry, India it is 4, Japan is 10 and the US is 35, like the way. Sir, hereby I found a problem. I mean, once upon a time I was in the engineering college during 2006 to 2010. In that time, one of my friend create some designs in mechanical engineering, and he applied for the patent. But regarding patent, in that way, I mean, to connect with the people, the intellectual properties people, connect with that authority, it is very difficult, sir. It is very difficult. We need to, what to say, there is no guidance to ourselves. I mean, that means to the students to make their creativity, they are suppressed. So in that way, we need to do something, sir. Otherwise, because now you said like what do you call? I mean, regarding that way through, that is my question, sir. Regarding way through, we don't have a lot of. I mean, we don't have much guidelines to compete with others. That is the problem, sir. Hereby, is
Thank you
there
for
any
your.
solution, sir?
Yes, there is a solution. Probably the next speaker, Advocate Goel, can address this problem very comfortably, and she's expert in this field basically. And I'm very happy to state that she is also one of the very, very good scholar. She was the gold medalist in the university in the microbiology field. And the thing is that she can address this problem this very comfortably. And I would pass this question to her. And I hope she must be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. This is Advocate Nupu Goel. Thank you for passing this question to me, Dr. Chaudhary. First of all, I would like to say it was a very nice and very insightful session which you have delivered. And and yes, you have thrown a lot many questions before me. So I'll definitely I'll definitely try my best to address all those issues all those pertinent issues which you have raised this morning. And coming to the question which this Chennai guy has raised, so sir, yes, I understand your issues that you being the scholar of the people from universities and research institutes, they find it difficult. But that's where the role of the patent attorney or the patent facilitators come into play. So, you need to hire or you need to contact the registered agents. A list is available on the patent office website. You can go through that list and according to your choice, you can choose the agent of your choice. You can choose from there. Alternatively, if you are a startup or MSME, then the government, after the IPR policy was formulated in the year 2016 under the leadership of Modi government, they have started this scheme of facilitators where the agents are registered under that scheme, and you can again the list is available on the website of both the Startup India as well as the Patent Office website. You can identify any agent who is enrolled in that list of your choice, and you can contact them, and they will help you directly in the process of facilitating your patenting process and helping you. They would help as the as the mediator or the mid person between you and the patent office. I hope it answers.
Maybe Advocate Goel, shall I speak for a moment?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I would request you to share your address details or contact details to all those who require your help. They can seek it from you.
Sure, I'll do that. Do that.
Thank you. So there is a question regarding this banana. We Jalgaon are marching ahead for the cultivation of banana. Agree. But why we could not get the GI for the same? No. Already it has been granted. In 2017, I suppose the GI for banana has already been granted. So there is no matter to worry as such, right? And the list is already available on the Indian patent website, basically. You can find it over there. Yeah. So is there any
Thank
more
you so
questions?
much, sir. And thank you, Goel, ma'am. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Prem, please go.
Okay. So as it looks, there is no question from participants. So it is now.
I would like to have a question.
Yes. Who is this?
Hello, sir. My name is Swastani. I'm from NG College, Jalgaon. My question would be this. How do you go around verifying if a patent process is real or fake in case of filing a patent?
I did not understand the question. Will you please repeat it?
Yes, sir. How would you go around verifying if the patent process is real or fake in case of filing a patent?
No, I don't understand what you want to ask basically. Real or fake? What you mean to say patent?
The process itself, sir.
Process, probably Advocate Goel will tell you what exactly is the process. Because she will be speaking on that. That's why deliberately I removed it from my presentation, and it could have been bulky also. However, this all process is available on the website also. You can find it out on the website. There is no question of real or fake, something like that, I believe.
No, sir. Actually, this has been an account that there has been some few accounts which report that uh, patent has been misinterpreted or faked as a part of a scam. So I was curious to know if is there a method to verify that a company or a group which files the patent or helps you in filing the
Well,
patent is
regarding the
legit or fake.
patents, basically there is a database of Government of India. You can put the patent number or even the patent title, and you can find out the patent even with the help of the inventor's name. You can. That website is very much interactive. Database is very much interactive.
Okay.
So you can put it there, and you can get the information excavated from that website. That is as easy as this. What I told you, right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any further questions from participants?
Now you propose the vote of thanks.
Okay. So as there is no question, it is time to thank our speaker, Dr. B.L. Chaudhary, sir. Sir, the data that you have presented today, it shows us that how much we are lagging behind from USA and China in terms of patents, research papers, technology, and also in Ayurvedic field or herbal fields also. So I think now it is time to encourage the quality research in our country. As even that you have shown a slide for top 10 countries, in those top 10 countries, there were no Indian companies over there. So it is very shameful for us that no Indian country is near to that top 10 countries. The patent is very important in field of research that many people do not know, or they know very little about how to file and when to file the patent. So the guidance that you have provided today will surely help the young researcher to patent their quality and genuine research work in future. I am thankful to Dr. B.L. Chaudhary, sir, for giving us his valuable time to guide us on this important lecture, important topic, how to file a patent. Thank you, sir, for such a nice presentation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, without wasting too much time, it is time to move towards our second section of today's seminar. For our second lecture, we have Advocate Nupur Goel ma'am with us as our guest speaker. Myself, Professor Prem Jadhav, and I welcome Advocate Nupur Goel ma'am on the behalf of Department of Physics and Electronics, MJ College, Jalgaon. Here is a short and brief introduction of Advocate Nupur Goel ma'am. She is the founder member of Human IP Consultancy Services, an Indian IP consultancy organization. With more than 15 years core experience in intellectual property rights, Advocate Nupur ma'am is a qualified microbiologist, she is a gold medalist, and an ardent IP attorney by profession. She is a qualified IPR scientist under WOSC category, now it is called as a Kiran IPR, of Department of Science and Technology, DSC, Government of India, implemented by Technology Information, Forecasting and Assessment Council, TIFAC, DSC. Advocate Nupur ma'am is an IPR trainer certified by State Project Directorate, Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, RUSA, Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Maharashtra, as well as Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management, Nagpur, Maharashtra. She is regularly invited as a guest speaker by several government organizations as well as private institutions. Prior to gaining experience in intellectual property, she was involved into research activities due to affection for her friendly microorganisms and has several accolades to her credit. Being a researcher herself, she adapts she's adept at understanding the nitty-gritty associated with the research arena. This provides her an edge over other fellow members of intellectual property fraternity working in the same domain. That was a brief introduction of our next speaker, Advocate Nupur Goyal ma'am. Now, I request our speaker, Advocate Nupur Goyal ma'am, to please deliver her lecture. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nupur, as I have already been introduced. First of all, I would like to extend my acknowledgement and appreciation to the organizers of this today's seminar. In particular, I would like to thank Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary, who was reminded of me when he was coordinating for this particular seminar. And so he basically coordinated and invited me for this today's seminar. So I'm very much thankful to him also. I would start sharing my screen now. So kindly let me know if it is clearly visible. Is visible?
No, ma'am.
Screen is not visible, ma'am.
Just a second, I'm trying to.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm not getting the option actually. Do I need to put it on home first? Or can I share it from my desktop?
Madam.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it full screen now?
Yes, it is full screen.
Visible.
The first slide is visible clearly?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay. So the topic which is being taken by me today is Introduction to IPR and its role in scientific research. Is my voice echoing or what?
Yes, ma'am, there is echo in your sound.
Any specific reason? What should I do to stop to control this? Any suggestions, please?
Oh.
Because it would be very disturbing if the voice continuously goes.
Ma'am, probably your mobile and desktop both are in working. Both audio for both is on.
Sorry?
Please turn off or mute one audio either from your mobile or your desktop.
Turn off what? I'm sorry, I voice is not clear to me.
You have to run only one audio device at a time.
Either
to
from
eliminate this
mobile
echo.
or desktop.
Yeah.
I'm using desktop only. I'm using my phone at this time.
Okay.
You have two audio devices nearby. That's why echoing is a big problem for this.
Give me a moment. Is the screen clear now?
Yeah, now clear.
Okay. And the voice is also clear? Is the voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
Fine. So let's start now. So the topic which I have taken is Introduction to IPR and its role in scientific research. Just before this, we have heard Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary at length, and he has shown to us and thrown a lot of questions before me, and he has given a lot of pertinent statistics which speaks at length about why and why we are lacking and what all, where is the gap and what all is needs or required to be done by us, we the Indians. Why are we lacking? There is a fact remains that we are the brains who are running a hell lot of big companies all over the world. More than 200 Indians are leading or heading big companies all over the world these days. Be it Satya Nadella, be it Sundar Pichai or Rishi Sunak or Priya. There are several Indians, and after the Joe Biden's government has taken over there in the US, lot many Indian brains are now taken in their in the team. So where is the gap? Where lies the gap? Actually, as I always say, there is. I never say that there is a lack of awareness. I always say that there is not lack of awareness, but there is a lack of sensitivity. Probably these days we have become a less sensitive towards things surrounding us on a daily basis, towards the things which are around us, but then probably we don't really connect to it, we don't see to it. As Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary has said that we are surrounded with IPR on a daily basis. Yes, that's a fact. Be it your smartphone, be it your smartwatch, or even the daily core items like FMCG products, soap, detergent, oil, ghee, vanaspati. Think of what not, and everything is probably what you are using one or the other branded items. And what are brands? Brands are nothing but a one form of IPR, which is covered under the domain of trademarks. As is already told you that there are several domains of IPR, that is patents, trademarks, industrial designs, geographical indications, copyright. So there are several domains, and each of the domain is governed by a separate law which is provided by the ministry to us, and it is governed according to that. So why is it that still we are in 2021, March of 2021, and we are talking about that we still are not aware about IPR? So where is the gap? Indeed, the gap lies in the in our thought process. Probably the way he has said, the education system has changed a lot. We are no longer thinking creatively or critically. We are only trying to remember. We are only trying to mug them out during the examination on our examination paper or on the sheet. We simply write those answers and we grab the mark, and then we get the certificate. But that's probably not going to help us any longer. So how do you, either as the students or researchers or the research scholars or the PhD students, how should you think of incorporating or integrating the IPR with your research work? I try to in a couple of slides or in one of the other slides, I will try to help you understand how to bridge that gap. So before I take other slides and before I start my presentation, let me ask a few questions from you all. We all in India, we all are very much fascinated with Bollywood movies, and most of the attendees today, I believe, are from Maharashtra, and Mumbai is in Maharashtra, where the film city, the biggest film city is. So have we ever thought of or have we come across at least one or two Bollywood movies which have got the mention of IPR or which have got the mention of patents in them? Can anyone answer that? Can you think of one or two movies, Bollywood movies? Okay, let me help you understand. Let me help you give the answer. Recent movie, which is Three Idiots. We have heard that Unsuk Wangdu in that particular movie, Three Idiots, he has got 400 patents. Indeed, in reality, it's very difficult. The way Dr. Chaudhary has shown the statistics, that clearly indicates that getting 400 patents granted or seeking patent protection on 400 applications is really not that easy. But yes, at least we got to know, we heard about patents in that particular movie. But did we come back after watching that movie? Did we come back, or did we try to find out as to what is patent, if at all we were not aware of the terminology patent, or if we heard about the expression patents for the first time? Certainly not. Certainly we simply go, we watch, we have fun, and we come back, and then we don't relate to things. That's where the gap is. That's why I say that we have become less sensitive towards things. Then there was another movie in which Abhishek Bachchan played the role of a patent attorney. So the expression patent attorney is not a new at all. Is not at all new. But probably again we don't relate to it. There was again an incorrect mention, an incorrect description there in that movie, that the designation of the of Abhishek Bachchan was a patent attorney, but they have mentioned international patent in that movie. But in reality, there is no such expression as international patent, though international application exists, but international patent doesn't exist in reality. Again, from Bollywood movie only, do we really think critically? Whenever we watch Bollywood movies, generally what I have observed is the fact that Bollywood movies generally tend to address at least a couple of societal issues, or a few issues which are really bothering the society. For example, the movie Tare Zameen Pe. What is the focus of that particular movie? Tare Zameen Pe, from the lead actor is Amir Khan, and the child actor Darshil Safari. So the movie is talking about the disease dyslexia, where he has got the difficulty in reading and writing. Then another movie, Barfi, where Priyanka Chopra and Ranbir Kapoor are the lead actors. The movie is addressed at the disorder that is autism. Another movie, a recent one, in which Rani Mukherjee has played the role of a teacher, and she has the problem of hiccups. The name of the movie is Hitchki. The movie is directed to a disorder, again, that is a speaking or the speech defect, that is Tourette syndrome. So what are these Bollywood movies trying to say? Movie Pa, in which Amitabh Bachchan has played the role of Vidya Balan and Abhishek Bachchan's son. The disease again is the progeria. So all these movies, they are talking about one or the other issues, and they clearly give the message that the problem still lies, whereas we have not so far been able to come across or find an appropriate solution. The way this pandemic, the COVID pandemic, all of a sudden came, and it got covered as a blanket the entire world. And now India has emerged as one of the leading providers of vaccine for this particular virus, against this virus. How could we do that? Definitely there are brains involved, definitely there are a lot of manpower involved. So this is again an indication that we, the Indians, have got that ability. We have got that ability of thinking rationally or analyzing critically. But the problem probably we have become, probably a very lazy kind of people, or we have become, we have started living in a stereotypical kind of environment, a monotonous kind of life we have started leading, where we only believe in seeking information or grabbing information, and we are misdirected, and we probably have started considering it to be as the core or the true knowledge, whereas that is not the true knowledge. So today my role is to help you all understand. I'll help you in another 30 or 40 minutes. I will help you walk through with me baby steps, and then we'll understand as to how should you first of all start thinking of inventing or innovating anything, and what are the steps which you should take for integrating the research work with the IP domain. So if you try to differentiate among these three expressions, that is discovery, invention, and innovation, can you quickly differentiate between these three? Sorry, among these three? This image, I believe, rightly explains to us the difference among these three expressions, that is discovery, invention, and innovation. So what is discovery? Discovery is something which was already existing. So with the help of this particular image, if I put across like this, that suppose there are trees or the plants which already grow electric bulbs on them, then and one fine day someone wakes up and comes across such plants which are already growing electric bulbs on them, then that would be discovery. That means identifying something which is already existing and simply identifying or and then expressing it, it would fall under the category of discovery. But if it was a breakthrough invention, would be like we all know that electric bulb is a breakthrough invention which was invented long back by Thomas Alva Edison. So an innovation, what would be innovation? We all know trees and plants exist. We know that Thomas Alva Edison invented electric bulb. If someone thinks of growing electric bulb on plant, that means tweaking something or making some modification or coming up with a process of or making a change in existing processes whereby plants could yield electric bulbs as the results instead of fruits or instead of flowers, then that would fall under the category of innovation. So that would be the clear demarcation among discovery, invention, and innovation. So what is discovery? As I've already said, recognizing something for the first time that already exists and that nobody has found before, the way Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. For Nobel laureate, he has already said that discovery consists in seeing what everybody has seen but thinking what nobody has thought before. So what is invention? Creation of a product or a process for the first time, that would amount to the invention, which was already not existing. And if it was existing and if it's merely being identified, then that won't be invention, that would be clearly a discovery. So invention, it offers a solution to a technical problem. What is innovation? Innovation occurs if someone improves on or makes a significant contribution to an existing product, process, or service. So that would clearly fall under the category of intersection of invention and insight, the way I have explained with that image, that if someone thinks of growing electric bulbs on trees or plants, that would fall under the category of innovation. A classic example can be explained for innovation with the help of wheel. Long back, stone was wheel was carved out of a stone in the Stone Age, and then came the wooden wheel, then came steel or the iron wheel, and then the thin rubber tires or the thick rubber tires. The purpose of the wheel remains the same, that with whatsoever article it is attached, it helps in moving or relocating that particular article or object from one place to the other. That is the sole purpose of the wheel. So the first wheel which was carved out of the stone, that would fall under the category of invention, and later on whatever modifications has been done with the help of either using wood or the iron or steel or the thick rubber or the thin rubber, whatever, that could chronologically fall under the category of innovation. So what is innovation? Dr. Chaudhary again said that we should think of innovating, but how do we do that? How do we start using our brain so as to help the brain think critically or rationally in order to analyze as to how to innovate? Again, my stand remains the same, that we have started living a monotonous or a stereotypical kind of life. We have become less sensitive towards things. Otherwise, this would not be a big question before each one of us, that how to innovate something. This again, another image which talks about three different questions. It says what is desirable to users, then it says what is possible to be done with the existing technology, and the last question, that is what is viable in the marketplace. I believe that the intersection of these three, the answer to these three questions and the intersection of these three questions would help you understand that how to innovate something. again, before I explain in detail, allow me to help you understand with a couple of examples as to how you as the researchers or how you as the students can think of innovating something. So what is desirable to users? Obviously, if there is a problem, the way I have said that there are so many diseases prevalent, but we have so far not been able to find a proper cure or a proper solution to those diseases. So definitely the solution to those existing problems would be desirable to the users or the end consumers. So how do we relate? Again, Dr. Chaudhary has also said that identify the problem and then try to come up with a workable solution. And for coming up with for a workable solution, you need to think, you need to analyze, you need to critically analyze. How would you analyze? Obviously, you need to work upon, you need to study upon the existing technology or the existing product. So what is possible to be done with the existing technology, that has to be analyzed, and then what is viable in the marketplace, that has to be seen. Allow me to take a couple of examples over here. So there is a fellow person, his name is Mr. Narayanan Pisapeti. He was a former researcher, groundwater researcher at ICRISAT. One fine day, while he was at a restaurant, he came across, while he was served with his meal, he was offered a disposable spoon. So when he picked up that spoon, he noticed that it was already greasy. And when he took a sniff of it, he felt that it is already smelling of the sambar. So how can you think of eating with a spoon which is supposed to be disposable? That means it is supposed to be used only for one time. But the problem is that are the restaurants, are the food junction points or the takeaway points, are they really using it for the one time? Or the way he came across that reused plastic spoon, which was supposed to be disposable, but it wasn't disposed after one use. That means they are washing it and they are reusing it. And yes, though million tons of waste is generated in terms of disposable plastic spoons in our country on a daily basis, there still we cannot be 100% sure that they are not being reused, because we don't see heaps of garbages of disposable cutlery or disposable spoons the way we see huge heaps of the polyethylene bags or the polyethylene bags. So that clearly indicates that they are being reused. So what he did, he tried to find a solution for that disposable spoon, and he has now come up with an edible cutlery. He has been working on that since many years now, and he has found a solution. He is making that cutlery with the help of 3 different grains, that is jawar, which is known as sorghum or the white millet in English, then rice and wheat. So a proper proportion of these 3 different grains he is mixing, and then he has come up with that edible cutlery. And it is so sturdy that you can even have your soup with it, or you can stir your sugar in the coffee or tea, or you can have your complete meal even with that. And once you finish your meal, you can even eat that particular spoon because it is edible. And they're making it in different flavors, like carrot plus beetroot, or ginger and cinnamon, or ginger and garlic. So different flavors they are preparing. They have so far been able to make the spoon and the fork with that multigrain. So far, if the information which I have gathered is correct, so far they have not been able only to make the knife with which we cut the dosa while eating, or with which we spread the cheese or the butter or jam on our bread. So far they have not been able to make that. Otherwise, they have successfully made that edible cutlery. And so when you eat that particular spoon, it's like eating one complete jawar roti or jawar chapati. And we all know that jawar is very highly nutritive. And again, addressing a social problem, addressing an existing environmental issue, he has addressed this particular problem. And we all know that harvesting of rice requires a lot of water as compared to jawar or the millet. So he's again, the process which he has come up with and the solution which he has provided, it is eco-friendly, it is environment friendly, and he is addressing the climate issue also. So that's how we also, you as the researchers, need to use your brain to the fullest potential and be open to the surrounding issues, so that something could click to you also the way it clicked to Mr. Narayanan Pisapati. Another example, we all know that Kanpur city of our country is one of the most polluted cities, and river Ganges is highly polluted. It's because of the industrial pollutants, we think so, but it's not only the industrial pollutants. Otherwise, lot many industries were shut long back in the Kanpur city. However, the Ganges still remains polluted. So what is the problem? The problem not only lies in the industrial waste being dumped as pollutants in the river Ganges, it's also the waste flowers which we as Hindus have the habit of offering to our deities in the temples. Have you ever thought of as to what happens to those flowers after we offer it to the deities in the temples? We simply offer, we walk out of the temple and we get busy in our daily works. We never turn back, we never think, we never even bother to know as to what happens to those flowers. Though we all might have come across at one or the other instances in our life, we have seen that huge heaps of those flowers are dumped as garbages across at the banks of the river, which is again taken by the waves of the river in it, or we dump it simply as under one or the other tree. So there is again another company, a startup company with the name of Help Us Green. Two fellow friends, Ankit Agrawal and Karan Rastogi, they have come up with a very innovative solution. What are they doing? They are collecting all those waste flowers in tons on a daily basis from temples, not only from the Kanpur city but also from Mathura and Varanasi city also, and they are then processing that flower. How are they processing? They are separating all the green section, the sepals, the petals, and then they are trying to make different items of that herbal plants or the flowers. So what are they doing? They are preparing not only one or two products, but three products which I am aware of. One is the vermicompost, which they are making in the name of mitti. So the green part and all those material of the plant, of the flower, which they are not able to use in other form, they are using it, they are decomposing it with the help of eco-friendly materials, and they are making the vermicompost out of it. And by separating these petals of it, they are trying to prepare the incense sticks and the incense cones out of those petals of the flowers, again by mixing with one or the other eco-friendly materials. Everything whatsoever they are preparing is 100% biodegradable. And they have also come up with a very innovative solution, not only by providing incense sticks or the incense cones or the vermicompost. We all have the habit of these days of performing or buying products from the e-commerce platforms or the online platforms, be it Amazon or Flipkart. And even when we buy the electronic products, most of them are wrapped up in the thermocol, that is the styrofoam. So again, we all know that styrofoam is one-time use product. It is not degradable. Again, it is simply dumped in the garbage. We never think of as to what happens. Where do we simply throw it and we forget. And they are filling up the lands. So that's again a big pollution, a big environmental issue, and it's a menace. What are they coming up with? They have found another innovative solution. They are coming up with the fluorofoam. They have replaced the thermocol or the styrofoam that is non-biodegradable with fluorofoam, which is equivalent to thermocol as regards its usage, but it is not one-time use. It is 100% biodegradable. So that's how they have not only provided a very innovative solution to an existing problem, they have also been able to hire rural women for carrying out the work. So they are providing employment to them. They are providing all those benefits of employment benefits which they can. So that's how they are giving back to the society. They are not only working for providing an innovative solution, but also they are giving back to the society in terms of generating employment, in terms of generating money, and most of the products which they make are generally exported. They have been awarded with not only national awards but also international awards. So again, Ankit Agrawal and Harsh Karan Rastogi, if they can do something like that, if Mr. Narayan Pisapati can do something like that, so why can't we? You, the researchers, you, the young people, you are the brains of the society. You have also that potential. Simply, you also need to be critically thinking. You also need to start working on your own self, on your own potential. You need to explore your own potential. It's only then. And these days we all have the habit of using these smartphones. Every information whatsoever you want is on your fingertip. So what's holding you back? It's probably your own thought and nothing else. Otherwise, the world is open before you, and you can produce, you can prepare any damn thing whatsoever you think of. If provide only and only if you think of working in that direction. Another example which I can take here is another problem, societal problem. We all know that road accidents happen on a daily basis in our country, and the figure is really alarming. Again, two IITians, Ashutosh Upadhyay and Vikas Poddar, they have come up. They have again got incubated their startup at one of the IITs, and in the name of Liger Mobility, and they have now come up with self-balancing two-wheeler vehicle. So what an innovative solution. Again, the vehicle is going to balance itself. If there is a jerk, then the driver of the vehicle won't fall off, because the vehicle would balance itself on its own. So imagine the technology which they have used. Obviously, the existing technology coupled with another, some kind of algorithms they have used, another thing which probably might be coming to your mind: are these all patentable? Whether these technologies are patentable or not, that is a separate inquiry altogether. Because for getting a patent on any technology or on any invention or innovation, it needs to clearly pass the 3 patentability criteria, which is novelty, inventive step, and industrial applicability. That is assessed in detail before the patent office when you submit a patent application, and after analyzing, after a strict scrutiny passes, only then the application gets granted. But that doesn't mean if the application eventually doesn't grant, that also should not hold you back, because nothing comes for, there's no guarantee for anything. All you can do is your efforts you have to make. You have to think of working in that direction, and you have to reach to the stage where you can prepare an application and submit it before the patent office. Let them scrutinize it, let them raise the objection. You have several opportunities given to you according to the law to address those issues. So eventually it would even get granted, but then that stage would only come with only and only after we think of working in that direction. Let me give one more example. There is a very young boy, his name is Suhail CS. He hails from Karnataka, Mangalore, Karnataka. He's really very young. He is only in his teens, and he has come up with so many innovations. And one of the innovation for which he got Bal Puraskar from the Pradhan Mantri is that he has made a technology with which malnutrition in children, protein deficiency basically, is being diagnosed with the help, a very simple kind of technology he has made by using a paper strip and using saliva. It is based on the saliva. That means it is non-invasive technology. And imagine the non-invasive technology with which he has come up with. It has made the biomedical waste, which is again generated in huge lots in our country on a daily basis, that has become zero with respect to his innovation. So how he has done that? Again, he has done nothing. He has only used his ability of critically thinking and analyzing, and he is just in his teens. So, and that's not only his invention. The other technology which he has come up with, while you walk, you are able to generate electricity. That means he has come up with tiles of some 40 cross 40 centimeters dimension, on which when you walk, electricity is automatically generated. So imagine the potential of the human brain and how he has, in just in his teens, he has come up with so many innovation. And I really felt honored when I happened to meet him last year at RGNIPM Nagpur. He was there for attending a seminar, a workshop which I was conducting there. So rather, I felt so blessed and honored to meet him in person. I had before read about him and his story, which was published on yourstory.com. But then it was really very overwhelming to meet him in person. So that's how, these are, I have only shared 1, 2, 3, or 4 examples before you. But that clearly means that the potential is enormous in the human minds, in Indian brains, basically. Otherwise, we would not have been leading the big companies all over the world. So again, it's now your role, it's now your chance to take it further. So as I always say, this image again rightly indicates that innovation is nothing but a state of the mind. This image, the image clearly indicates that the use of umbrella is indicated. In one, the lady, which is, she is simply using the umbrella for protecting herself from rain, whereas the other person has simply twigged it, and he is not only protecting himself by using this particular umbrella from the rain, but he is also collecting the rainwater, and the rainwater which he is collecting, he is in turn using it for watering his plant. So what a slight tweak, a slight tweaking, a slight modification of the existing product, that is umbrella, and so many different results could be achieved clearly. So clearly innovation is nothing but a state of the mind, and how to come up with anything, how to think of innovating anything, clearly the answers to these 3 questions would clearly help you reaching to the solution. So a quick comparison between invention and innovation. So invention is something, creation of a new product or process, while innovation is adding value or making change in the existing product. Invention, it definitely requires only the scientific skills, whereas innovation requires a broad set of technical, marketing, and strategic skills. So an idea when proved workable would amount to invention, whereas an idea when proved workable plus economically feasible and fulfills a specific societal need, that would amount to innovation. So what do when you got an invention? Should you think of patenting it, or should you think of publishing it, or both could be done simultaneously, or one has to be done before the other step is taken? Again, we as the researchers have the habit, as Dr. Chaudhary has already said, that I am also a qualified microbiologist. I was also a researcher long back, before I got to clear an exam in the Department of Science and Technology, and that's how I got into IPR domain. Prior to that, I was also a researcher. But I felt something very lacking in my life when I stepped in this IPR domain as an IPR scientist selected by the DST. When I started to gain knowledge and insights in this particular domain, I felt that I probably lost something very valuable in my life. Had I been aware of the IPR domain while I was pursuing my master's, or while I was conducting the research activities, perhaps I would also have been an inventor, a proud inventor today. Because the MS, at that time, the course curriculum which I pursued, it was such that for the 3 semesters the coursework was there, and for the 4th semester a 6 months dissertation, a mini thesis work, a mini research work was supposed to be done by us. So the product on which I worked, it was based on industrial microbiology, and when I got into IPR domain, I conducted a prior art search for that particular technology. Even at that time, the technology remained novel, except my publication, which so novelty remains one of the main basic criteria of the patentability. As I have already said, that it is novelty, inventive step, and industrial applicability. All these three parameters are equally assessed for assigning a patent right on any application. So my research work was novel, except my own publication, which was getting against it. Yes, at that time, if I was aware of something like IP, something like patents, then definitely, probably I would have also thought of filing of a patent application. But unfortunately, that wasn't the awareness at that time. So with that idea also, I always share this story of mine, so that, you know, something remains, something clicks to any student, something remains in the brain of any researcher while he is working on his MSc thesis or on his PhD thesis, and he or she thinks of not repeating the mistake which I unfortunately committed because of the lack of awareness. Again, as a researcher, when we step in the mind of a researcher, we have this habit of publishing our research work or publishing the output of the research work. We are probably in a haste of doing that, and that's for that reason the mindset needs to be changed. We have to think rationally. We have not only to work in the direction of publishing our research work, but we should also think of filing of a patent application. What do we achieve, and why do I say this? Because when we compare publishing versus patenting, we could clearly see the big differences between the output of publishing versus patenting. So what do we get when we publish a paper? We publish it, we manufacture either the product or we carry out the process, if we have conducted if the research is based on any process, and then we market. We don't get a proper monetary benefit, because any person can carry out the research work, whosoever gets to read that research publication. Whereas with respect to patenting, you get to protect yourself, and it's only you or your assignee or the licensee to whom you would give the rights. He would be only be able to carry out the invention which you have patented, and this would help you in generating revenue, not only for yourself but also by giving employment to others, by giving to the society at large. So again, the question, why patents? Why can't we only think of publishing? A detailed comparison between publishing versus patenting would give a clear idea as to why we should think of not only publishing, but we should think of patenting first and then publishing. A few key aspects. Applicability of the publishing, it is only with respect to the knowledge sharing purposes, but with respect to patenting, it is for commercially exploitable technology. Indeed, the cost which is with respect to the patenting aspect, it is high as compared to the publishing, which is probably either low or none. But if the costs are high with respect to the patenting work, the financial gains are equally enormous, are equally high. But with respect to the publishing, there would be any journal which would be giving you monetary returns on publishing your research article or research work in their journal. Procedure, again, with respect to the publishing, there is a simple kind of procedure. You being the researcher, you write a manuscript and then you show it to the supervisor, your thesis supervisor, your PhD supervisor, and he suggests some modification to you. You make it and you pass it on to the review committee of the publishing journal. They make they either suggest some modification, then you again make those modifications, and eventually it gets published. But with respect to the patenting, there is a detailed process which is provided in our patents for under the Patents Act, which is governed by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So we have to follow that complete process, which is outlined there in the Patents Act. We have to follow everything, and because it is a law, we just cannot take the excuse that because we are not aware of it, so we should be given the benefit of it. That doesn't happen. For example, if you break the traffic signal saying that you weren't aware of that the signal is red, that doesn't mean that you won't be penalized for it. You have to pay the fine because you jumped the traffic signal. Likewise, with respect to the patenting, if you miss on the legal aspects, if you miss on the legal procedure which is provided under the law, then it is only you who will have to bear the repercussions of it. So that's the reason, as Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary has said, that you should not shy away from seeking the help of the experts, of the patent attorneys or the registered patent agents or the facilitators, as I have already explained, that after the Modi government, facilitators scheme is floated by the government and many agents are registered under that scheme, and you can approach that provided you are a startup or an MSME. The rights granted under with respect to publishing, many times the researchers again have this misconception that they get the copyright protection on their research article. Unfortunately, the copyright protection which you get on the research article is only on the expression of the writing material which you put in that research article. It's never on the research output or the research results which you tabulate either in the form of tables or you present in the form of the graphs or the figures. That unfortunately is not protected under copyright, and that's the reason with respect to the patenting, you get protection on everything whatsoever you have written under the claim section of the patent specification. So what are the patent claims? Patent claims are basically the way wherever you are sitting at this moment, be it a seminar hall or a room or your laboratory, wherever you are at present, I believe that is surrounded by 4 discrete distinct walls, clearly demarcating the area of that particular section of the laboratory or the room or the hall. Likewise, it is the patent claims which provide which define the boundary of your protection or the right or the content which is mentioned in the claim section of the patent specification, meaning thereby the written material which comes under the description section, detailed description section of this patent specification, you do not get protection on that because that is clearly open to the public, and whatsoever is not written in the claim section, that clearly means you or your own are disclaiming it. And that's the reason we say either you make yourself so much equipped, you also become skilled enough so that you can learn how to write a patent specification, how to conduct prior searches, or you can seek the help of the attorneys. And because I believe the research students and the MSc students are also out here today, so allow me to help you understand that for you, the researchers or the science students who hail from the science or technology background, you have another career option before you. Any science student or any technology student can also become a registered patent agent, provided you appear for the patent agent examination, which is conducted by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They float the notification not only on the website of their patent or on their website, that is the IP India website, but it also gets published in the leading newspapers and the employment newspaper also. So the basic requirement is that you should be Indian by your citizenship. You should have attained at least 21 years of age. You should be of sound mind. You should have completed your degree in the either in the science or technology. So these are the basic criteria. And if you have, if you are eligible, then if you satisfy these qualifying criteria, then you can also appear for the patent agent examination. The format is different. For that, you have to, no technical requirement is there. You are not supposed to answer questions from the science domain or the technology domain. You are only supposed to answer questions from the patent domain, and the questions come from the Patents Act. So you need to simply learn the Patents Act, whatever is given under that. And there is a paper 2 also, and that in that you are supposed to draft a patent specification. A specimen is provided to you, and then you are supposed to write claims or the description. So that is again another career option. That's how I wrote this exam long back, and I successfully qualified, and that's how I got into this particular domain, that I started practicing as a registered patent agent. So that's a career option also. If you so you can blend your abilities. You can be a researcher. You can carry out your research work also, and you can develop that skill also. So again, it's your potential which would determine as to how far you want to go. Otherwise, as they say, sky is the limit. Otherwise, there's no limit which would stop you. With respect to technology disclosure, when you publish your patent, your research paper, it immediately gets published. But whereas with respect to the patents, for 18 long months, the authorities keep it secret, and this helps in keeping your competitors at bay, because the moment it gets published, your competitors would get to know about your technology, and probably they would also start to copy. They would also start to manufacture the same product or carry out the same process if whatsoever is disclosed there in your research article. But because the patent system is such worldwide that they keep the application secret for 18 long months, unless until you specifically request for submitting for publishing it. There is a provision of early request for early publication in Indian law. So if you are opting for that option, only then your application would get published within 1 month of making that request for early publication. Otherwise, the application won't be laid open to public for 18 long months. So again, that is a benefit of the patenting process. Technology protection, I have already explained that on the patent on patent claims you get protection, whereas with respect to the research article, it's only on the expression it's only on the expression of the written material on which you get the copyright protection. And use of the technology with respect to patents, it's only either you or your assignee or the licensee to whom you have issued license. And when you issue license, it's not for free. You are seeking royalty, you are seeking some benefits in return of the license which you are issuing, and all the terms and conditions are clearly laid down under the license agreement which you are making. So all it takes is a little foresight, planning and vigilance to have best of the both worlds. And as a researcher before and as an attorney now, I suggest that you patent first and publish later. And when I say patent first, I do not mean that you get a patent granted for your research article first. No, it simply means that you submit your patent application, and the moment you submit, the moment you apply for your application, patent application, a number is generated, which a number is accorded to your application, which becomes the application number. A filing date is generated on which the date on which you file the application. Along with that, time is also stamped, not only with respect to hour, but also with respect to minutes and seconds. So the moment you get that receipt generated, you can go ahead and directly publish your research work wherever you want in your choice of research journal. So that won't affect the novelty of your patent application, because you have already submitted an application before the authorities. So what is the goal of the patent system? Goal of the patent system is clearly to encourage innovation. Patent system is basically designed to provide economic benefits and economic incentives for invention that increases societal welfare, because the innovators are provided temporary monopoly rights. And when I say temporary, because the patent right is not granted for your entire life, it is only granted for a limited period of 20 long years. That's the reason it's said that it is temporary monopoly rights. So you reap the benefits, economic benefits during that particular period, and you give to the society also, because you are able to generate employment, you are able to provide quality product in the market, you are able to provide authentic products in the market. The consumers are able to differentiate between the fake and the real product. They are able to clearly identify which is the genuine, which is the fake product. And yes, another question arises before us, that monopoly would reduce the competition, and the competition law in our country, it prohibits, it is against the monopoly. But patent system is designed such that it is supposed to strike a balance between the incentives for innovation and the consumer welfare. So if anyone is trying to misuse the right of the patent system, or the patent rights which is granted to any patentee for his research work, then there are alternatives, there are routes available under the law of seeking compulsory license. If suppose a patentee is not willing to issue you the license, if you want to work on his invention under a license agreement, but he is not willing to give you the license, he is demanding a high kind of royalty which you believe is not genuine. So you can approach, as a third person, you can approach the patent office and seek a compulsory license for that particular patent. And there are grounds provided under which you can approach. If the patent office would again examine it, if they believe that the patentee is misusing his rights, then a compulsory license would issue. So that's how the competition is not stopped, and the competition law is also taken care of by the patent system. Again, why would one patent? Because it generates monopoly. It is also generating revenue. So competition law, as I said, it forbids monopolies, but patent rights give you the possibility to create a temporary legal monopoly. It also prevents third party from entering your market, and it enables your entry into your market to your fullest potential. So what are you supposed to weigh? Whenever you have to weigh something, it is like one-time award versus a lifetime achievement. You should always weigh the short-term gains versus the long-term gains. We, the researchers, are generally in haste of publishing our research work in order to get our thesis awarded, in order to get the certificate awarded. But you should not be in that haste. Do not get interested with the immediate gains, even if it's economic or otherwise, at the expense of the long-term value that can be captured from the patenting system or the IP system. And I always mention this, that once an inventor, always an inventor. I say this because if you become a rightful inventor today, you would not only remain inventor throughout your life, but you would also remain the inventor even when you are no longer alive in this world. And whatever happens with your tangible property, your tangible asset, the way your tangible property or the tangible assets devolve upon your successors by way of succession on your legal heirs, likewise your intangible property, intangible asset also devolves upon your legal heirs by way of succession. So, and no one can take away the inventorship. Even if you assign your rights, that person would become your assignee, that person would become your licensee. That person won't become the inventor ever. So once an inventor, always an inventor. So what is intellectual property? As World Intellectual Property Organization has defined intellectual property as the creation of the mind, including not only inventions, but also literary and artistic work, symbols, names, images, designs used in the commerce. So intellectual property, if we dissect the terminology, the expression intellectual property, we would see that intellectual property is not only a legal concept, it is also a social construct, it is also a business asset, it's an instrument and a policy tool also. A legal concept, when we say, because it provides for copyright protection, industrial designs protection, geographical indications, patents, plant variety protections, trademarks, trade secrets, and all these are governed under different regimes, under different law provided by the country. It is also a social construct because it defines the intangible borders as opposed to the tangible borders or the real property borders. Because any intangible asset, any intangible property, it eventually zeroes down to a tangible product, any process whatsoever. An idea is neither copyrightable, an idea is neither patentable. An idea, when it is expressed on a tangible medium, then it is copyrightable. An idea, when it is worked out in the terms of eventually generating a tangible product, then it gets a patent right granted on it. So how it's said is, it's also a business asset because it can be valued, it can be traded. So the value of the asset can be identified, and the way anything whatsoever you are able to do with your tangible property, that is either you sell it, you mortgage it, you lease it, you rent it, you trade it, whatever you can do, think of doing with the tangible property. Likewise, everything could be done with the intangible property also. And the way when you buy a land, buy a house, buy a property, or buy a car, and you get it registered before the appropriate authority, that is the registrar office or the RTO office. Likewise, when you think of mortgaging or licensing or selling or assigning or licensing the intangible property, that also has to be registered or documented with the rightful authorities, that is the patent office. So it is an instrument which helps in achieving the humanitarian objectives, because you are giving back to the society, you are ensuring intellectual property. Why is it important to us? It ensures the availability of the authentic, of the ensures the availability of the genuine products in the market. It ensures the generation of the revenue. It ensures a lot of employment benefits. So you are giving back to the society at large, and don't you think that you have the responsibility of giving back to the society? We take so much from the society on a daily basis. So this is an opportunity before you, so that you can also think of giving back to the society. And again, it's a policy tool. IP is a policy tool because it helps in fostering investments in the innovation. As Mr. Francis Bacon rightly said long back, knowledge is power, and the motto of your college, that is Murji Data College, is also knowledge is power. The adage is relevant today, more relevant today rather at any other times in the past, and it would probably be more relevant in the times to come as we move more and more towards knowledge-based economy. Today we are in the 21st century, and we are no longer defining, or we are no longer restricting the definition of the tangibles, of the property to tangibles only, and we are redefining the intangible property also. The borders are being redefined, the boundaries are being redefined. So that clearly indicates that the intellectual property would play a central role, would occupy a central stage in this role. It would play a key role when we are, as we are moving towards knowledge-based economy. So what is the role of knowledge-based economy? It provides protection. IP rights in general provides protection to its owner, author, creator, inventor, whosoever, and whosoever comes up with whatever IP kind of product. If it is a patent right, then it's the protection is given to the inventor. If it is a copyright, then literary expression, then the copyright protection is provided to the author. So and IP, it helps in dissemination of the knowledge. It helps in disclosing the knowledge within an economy. It encourages technology transfer. These days we are clearly seeing that a lot of work is being done on PPP model, that is the public-private partnership. So IP contributes a lot to the creation of a market of knowledge, and it promotes collaboration. It facilitates identification of partners which are necessary for not only national but also for the international collaboration. So again, what is knowledge-based economy? Economy that is focused on the production and management of knowledge and the use of that knowledge to produce economic benefits, that would amount to a knowledge-based economy. And there comes the major role of you, the universities, the researchers, the research institutes, because you are the backbone. You have to play a key role in the economy, since many types of research work are being carried out with enormous potential of creating benefits to the society. And as I said, that the mindset has to change. It's only the mindset that is holding us back. And before I take up a few more slides, helping you all to understand how can you as a researcher think of integrating your research work with IP, how you can think of blending or mixing or integrating it. Allow me to take a few examples in order to help you understand that when we are talking about IP, we are not only restricting ourselves to patents because you are the science candidates sitting over there. No, you can think of IP as a whole. Even a simple product like this is a people who are asthmatics like me would clearly understand that it is a multi-haler or a rotahaler. It is a very simple kind of device. The mouthpiece is inserted in the mouth, and you press the button, and the medication which is filled inside it is delivered inside the mouth, and it helps in relieving. It helps in helps in breathing to the asthmatic patient who is in need of it. So a simple device kind like this has got several IP protection on it. It's not only the patent, right? The mechanism of the device is has got a patent protection on it. The design, the look, the appearance, the aesthetic appearance of the device has got an industrial design protection, which is governed by the industrial designs law of our country. The name of the company or the name of the device which they are trading, under which they are making it, under which they are trading it, that is protected under the trademarks law. And copyright is sought over the manual instruction or the user manual instruction, which is generally provided as a leaflet or a simple 1 page or 2 page kind of booklet kind of thing when you open the box of the device, which you generally find inside any box, any product. So a simple device like this, when it can attract so many IP protection, the way like this, or only you as a researcher should think of not only getting a patent protection on for your research work, you should also think of coming up of integrating all what domain you can think of capturing under the IP umbrella. Another example of IP in a single complex product. We all are using smartphones these days. The most smart gadget which we all are using on a daily basis today. So a cell phone, a design of a cell phone is protected under copyright, or it can be protected under design, or it can be protected under trademarks. The way name of the company, it could be protected under trademarks. Font, again, it could be protected under copyright or designs or trademark or trade secrets. For trade secrets, allow me to explain that there is no separate regime of trade secrets in our country so far, but it is governed either by the contract law or under the doctrine of breach of confidentiality, equitable doctrine of breach of confidentiality. So the confidentiality clauses are written under the employment agreements or between the employer or the employee and the company of the companies, and that's how you seek protection. That's how it's secretly protected. We all know that that Coca-Cola, the composition of Coca-Cola is still under our trade secret. The KFC product, that the KFC chicken, that has also got a trade secret protection on it. So they have not, suppose Coca-Cola has thought of seeking a patent protection, then it would have the patent protection right, the right of the patent rights which they get, which they would have got, it would have expired by now because it is only accorded for 20 long years. So that's how they thought of, they did not go for patent protection because they were so sure of the trade secret, of their formula, of their research. They were so confident that they have protected it only under trade secrets. The only drawback associated with trade secret is that any person could think of reverse engineering it, but it's only your guts, it's only your confidence which would determine. The way Coca-Cola did not go for patent protection, they have secretly protected it, and so far no one has able to decode the formulation. No one knows the composition of that drink which we consume under the name of Coca-Cola refreshing drink. So technical solutions which is used in the phone, that could again be protected either under patents right, or the trade secrets components again under patents or the trade secrets. Methods of protecting, methods of manufacturing either under the copyright or patents or trade secrets. Camera, again patents or trade secret. Transmitters, so likewise several aspects of the cell phone has got multiple IP right protection. With respect to the software, allow me to explain that in our country so far only copyright protection is given to the software, and patent protection is not given on the softwares. So as a researcher, how should you think of integrating your research with IP? The first step, again this image rightly indicates, the first step would be the creation, whatsoever work you have carried out. Then would be the application, submitting of the application. then would be the scrutiny and the legal examination and all these steps which the patent authorities are supposed to. And once you get the right, then it would be the exploitation of that technology in the commercial market that would lead to a successful business. So what are the best practices? This is probably the terminology which I prefer to use. The way there are best practices for the manufacturers in the manufacturing industry, the way there are best practices for the laboratories, for the users of the laboratory. Likewise, there are best practices for the IP when it comes to the researchers. So the first and the foremost, and why I have been able to, how I have been able to, jot down all these clearly in this particular slide, because I was also a researcher, and I have already mentioned that I believe that I lost something very valuable in my life. So this is how you should think of protecting your work by adopting the best practices when you think of integrating your research work with IP. First and foremost step which you will have to take is restrict the entry of visitors to your laboratory. You should never allow each and every visitor to roam about freely in your laboratory. Your laboratory should always be under restricted entry mode, because you never know who is the third person who visits your laboratory, who gets to see, who gets the access of your experimental setup, who gets to see, and who knows, he would steal it, he would go back and he would come up with the same idea, same invention, same innovation, and probably before you even apply for a patent application, he may apply. So you would lose something very valuable. And how can you can only stop that by taking baby steps at your end. Then the second important piece of information for you is that you should have the strict habit of making each and every entry in your laboratory notebook. These days, probably the researchers are missing out on it. Otherwise, we all know that a logbook is maintained beside every instrument whatsoever is kept inside a laboratory, be it a chemical balance, be it incubator or refrigerator, whatever you use. And every machine has got a log access book. And what is the purpose of it? At times we feel it very difficult. We find it difficult when we work. We believe that what is the purpose of making such petty entries into the laboratory, that we are paying such minor quantities of any chemical and we are supposed to make the entry? Because as a researcher, you don't value it, you don't feel the worth of it. But as an attorney now, I can clearly relate to it, and I can understand that such entry would help us as an attorney in safeguarding your interest in case any future dispute arises with respect to the inventorship or the authorship issue. These days, we are using all the digital platforms, but still the digital platforms, it is very easy to make manipulation or modification in or to tweak or to distort the information with respect to the digital data, digital records. But with respect to the manual entry which you make in the physical copy, physical notebook or the laboratory notebook, if at all anyone tries to make any modification, any overwriting, any application of the white fluid, or if one tries to tear out any single sheet or half sheet from your laboratory notebook, then that would help us in establishing, that would be a piece of evidence before the court of law, and that would help us in establishing your rightful inventorship in case of any dispute. So that's how you should think of. And what is a lab notebook? Isn't that a book where you key in every information you maintain, whether it is the entry of the research of the process or the research output or the tables which you make or the method which you are going to set up or the experiments. There are several experiments which we set up, but not all would yield the successful result. But that entry, that is again, that would be a piece of information for we the attorneys, and that would be taken by us from you when we are working on your application, when we are drafting the specification for you. So get this habit of making each and every entry in your laboratory notebook. If you are thinking of any joint ventureship, if you are collaborating with any other university, if you are of collaborating with any other organization or foreign university, then always get an NDA signed before. An NDA means a non-disclosure agreement. If you do not know how to write NDA, always seek an attorney's help, and the attorney would help you jot down, help you write all the relevant clauses, which would in future help you in protecting your invention from being misused by any third party. So publish or perish versus patent or cherish, I have already explained with the help of the detailed table. Then IP audit, IP strategy formulation, IP infrastructure should be in place. What is IP audit? When you would carry out an IP audit, or when you would ask an attorney to carry the IP audit, it would help the attorney identify the existing IP potentials from your research reports or the research results. It would also help him or her in identifying the current research practices versus best IP practices, to identify the risks which are involved, to identify, and not only what is the purpose of reinventing the wheel. That exercise would be definitely a futile exercise. That's why we always, as an attorney, I always suggest that you should carry out a search, a prior art search. When I say a prior art search, it does not only amount to the non-patent literature search which you carry out in your digital library, or in your central library or the departmental library, but it amounts also to the patent literature search, because most of the recent scientific development, scientific work which is carried out in any domain is you won't be able to find it in any non-patent literature document, but you would definitely find it in a patent document. So, so you should think of always taking the help of the attorneys, or you should think of developing that skill so that you can carry out a brief, a first step of prior art search before you think of setting up your experiment. So how can you think of this? The IP strategy has to be put up. The institutional goals regarding IP, the way funds are assigned or they allotted to the research work. Likewise, for capacity building programs, for the IP awareness program, or for workshop, for conducting workshops on the IP, in order to help you understand, in order to help you learn as to how to conduct a prior art search, a brief search at the first instance. Because if you are approaching attorney for everything and anything, then definitely that would be very costly to you, because whatsoever services they would provide, they would definitely charge you for it, and then it would become a very tedious kind of thing for you. So it is always advisable to have a brief knowledge with you, a brief skill set with you, so that you can carry out the brief search. You can then accordingly set up your experiment, and then you can approach the attorney for seeking the professional assistance. So setting up infrastructure entails institutional IP policy. Again, the way I have said that I wasn't aware of IP at all when I pursued my MSc. Otherwise, I would have probably filed an application for my research work. So that awareness would come. It is the institutes, it is the probably UGC will have to work, or the management of the or universities would have to think of it. You should think of incorporating at least one chapter or one paper on IP also, because if a student completes his MSc course, does his MSc thesis, MSc dissertation work, but is not aware of IP at all, and then he pursues his PhD, definitely he can't think of filing of a patent application, let alone an IP application at all, because he is not aware of what IP is. So that changes, that mindset has to change. At the roots itself we'll have to work. The gradual transformation has to take place. As a student, sorry, as a kindergarten student, we were taught A, B, C, D, the English alphabets first, the letters of the English alphabet. Then we were taught framing of the words with the help of those letters, say water, say apple, say custard, and whatnot. And then eventually, gradually, we were taught, and then when we learned about chemistry, water all of a sudden became H2O, and we did find it as a miracle. We clearly could relate that yes, H2O means water. It wasn't a miracle for us. No one was astonished to know that how can water, which is read with the help of 5 letters of English alphabet, WATER, how can it be spelled as H2O? So the gradual transformation took place. The brain gradually adopted itself. Likewise, with respect to IP also, unless and until the gradual transformation would take place, conducting the workshops, conducting IPR awareness program may help one person, may help one researcher who is very brainy, but then we have to see the whole lot as a whole. We do not have to focus on one creamy brain. That should not be the idea, and I certainly believe that that is not the idea of Mulji Jeta College, whose motto is knowledge is power, and about the detailed information which I read about the college on its website and what I heard about it in the introduction section about the college. So institutional IP guidelines should be there, and integrating of the IP course curriculum in all the disciplines, because it's not only for the science people. Copyright is also for the literary work, so for the art students also it's helpful. For the one who are good at designing, for the fine art students, trademarks and the copyright again, or the designs work is there, design rights are there. So all the course curriculum, again, there is a challenge, but if there is a challenge, it's only we as the humans, from our brain only we'll have to find out the appropriate solution. What are the challenges? The most important challenge is the mindset change. Budgetary constraints, definitely it's there. Many a times the researchers shy away from the patenting process because of the long payback period. See, if there is a long payback period, if something is requiring a lot of time, if it's taking a lot of time, or it's requiring investment in terms of money, definitely it's going to give you the monetary benefits or the output also. Likewise, we all have patiently waited for at least 14 long years of our life to get a 12th class certificate. So for 2 years in kindergarten, we studied lower KG, upper KG, and then from 1 to 12 class. So when we were so patient in getting a class 10th or a class 12 certificate and then becoming a graduate, then why are we in a haste today? Why have we become such? So it's a question before each one of us, and each one individual will have to take his responsibility and will have to introspect himself, interrogate himself as to what is that because of which I have become such. And if each one of us takes his or her own responsibility, definitely this society at large would change automatically, because we do not have to take the responsibility of the other person. We only have to take the responsibility of ourselves. So the way forward, what is the way forward? Need for R&D to take a proactive role in adopting the IP agenda. Before reaching to a professional attorney, you can also think of the universities, the research institutes. They can think of, or the colleges, they can think of linking with the TISC or the PFC or the NRDC. They are the government bodies. They are also providing the same work, the same search work or the drafting work or assist. They also assist in the facilitating the IP work for the researchers. With respect to the cost, definitely. So far, the fees which the researchers, with the universities the colleges are supposed to pay, till date, it falls under the highest category, which I clearly believe and understand that it is difficult for the particularly for the government colleges. It's very difficult to bear that fees of the IP application. But recently, just last month, the government has proposed amendments in the patents rules, and if those rules get implemented. If the rules would be published soon with the modifications or with the suggestions which would be received by the government from the stakeholders like us, so that if when that the fees, the proposed fees would fall under the lowest category, that is the fees would be equal to the fees which individual or the natural person or the startup is supposed to pay. So that is a very good and a warm and a very welcome news by the government, which the government has proposed. And let's remain hopeful that this year itself those rules would be finalized and published. So that's again a piece of relief information for you. So commit budget for the IP audit, IP strategy, and IP management. So in conclusion, I would like to say that R&D is operating in a fast-changing and complex business environment. As I have already said, that property relations are being redefined. It's those with the ideas that are set to rule the world. Integration process, it definitely requires investment in terms of time and financial resources. And indeed, there is a need for institutional collaboration on IP management capacity building. With this, I end my presentation. There is a brief disclaimer that several illustrations in the presentation which I have illustrated over here may have copyright protection. They are only shown for the educative purposes under the fair use doctrine, and you are not supposed to circulate it or make copy of it. You are not supposed to record this webinar or take pictures of it. As a final note, again another piece of disclaimer: since I am not your attorney, nothing should be construed as a legal advice given by me. It's a general information, it's a general suggestion given by me, and I believe that it would be helpful to you. So thank you, one and all. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you for all the attendees for listening to me so patiently this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now question answer session is open to all. Please, if you have any question, you can ask to ma'am. Is there any question from anyone? Please, you can ask your question. It seems that there is no question from our participants. So it's time to thank you, ma'am. I am thankful to Advocate Nupur Goyal, ma'am, for such an informative and knowledgeable session. Thank you, ma'am, for explaining the role of IPR in scientific research in such a simple language. I am very much thankful to Nupur Goyal, ma'am. And now for further formalities, I request and invite my colleague Savita Patil, ma'am. Ma'am, please.
On the behalf of organizer and our college and my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Advocate Nupur Goyal for their valuable guidance about the IPR. The lecture was very interesting and interactive. I am pretty sure that we all encourage for innovation and creation. The precious knowledge that Advocate Nupur Goyal gave us will definitely help us. Thank you, ma'am. Moving towards the end of the seminar, I would like to express my sincere gratitude towards Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary and Advocate Nupur Goyal for sparing time with us. A personal special thanks from me to Dr. Bhushan Chaudhary sir to steer me in a right direction for the success of seminar. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule. Once again, I would like to thank Advocate Nupur Goyal for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. As well, I would like to thank Pradhyavanta Nandakumarji Bendale, President, Khandesh College Education Society, for their timely encouragement and work freedom. Also, I would like to thank Principal Professor S.N. Bharambe for giving permission to organize this seminar. Let me extend my gratitude towards the organizer, IQAC Munji Jetha College, and Dr. K.B. Mahajan, Director, School of Physical Science, and Dr. V.R. Khadse, Program Coordinator, organizing such a wonderful seminar. Also, I would like to appreciate valuable and active support of our technical team. Lastly, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all participants for their kind attention. Once again, thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I declare this seminar is over.
The feedback link is sent on your Google Meet as well as on YouTube. So I request participants to please fill that feedback form, and after filling feedback form,